one of the big questions we're asking this morning. Who is going to go into partnerships in hung municipalities? We're going to find out later today. The ANC NEC meeting over the weekend to discuss its dismal election result. The party securing less than 50% of the votes in the local polls. Let's head over to political analyst Professor Lesiba Teffo, who's joining us this morning. Prof. Teffo, always good to have you with us. For the first time since the dawn of democracy, the ANC very much licking their now not majority wounds. How damaging do you think this is for the ANC?
Well,
Professor, I've got you. Go ahead, Prof. Teffo. If you can hear me, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. No, look, I'm not sure if it is damaging. I'm one of those who think it is very good for the ANC. It has been in all sorts of troubles and more to do with the sins of incumbency. And I think South Africans also stand to benefit, just like the ANC. It wanted to cleanse itself of careerists, leeches, imposters, charlatans who pretended to be there for the people. Now, for the society also, I'm saying we have crossed the Rubicon. Fare thee to majoritarian tyranny. Fare thee well to political arrogance. The politics of South Africa has entered a terrain that I had hoped for many years, and I think we are on an appropriate trajectory. Yes, both of us, the ANC and the society, is going to benefit out of this.
Let's imagine, if we will, that there is a political version of the dating website Tinder. The ANC is now on there. It looks like a lot of people are swiping left, not right. No one really wants to talk to the ANC, but the ANC putting itself out there to see who will talk to them. But so far, no right swipes and no one really sending them any WhatsApp messages.
Look, yes, I understand why some would not want to work with the ANC. They have not covered themselves with glory in many instances where they went into coalitions. Many would remember what happened with the agreement with the IEC, right? The AIC, Rematatiele. And that lesson will keep haunting them. And other instances where they also didn't honor the agreement. Hence, you hear the IFP say you cannot trust them. On that basis alone, I'm sure people would say, yes, let's keep them, let's not associate with. But equally, there would be those who say, we seem to have gotten them exactly where we want. But maybe we are still to, at least to unleash the final blow, that at national, they also are below 50%. Because then when we reach that stage, I'll say South Africa at last is en route to redemption.
Professor, I'm sure you'll agree that when it comes to any kind of negotiation, you always negotiate from a position of power. Now, if you look at the numbers for the ANC, generally they do have more than any other political party. But if we now take a look at the coalitions that can be formed, they may have more votes for them. But it's almost a powerless vote unless they bring someone in as a coalition. So, who really has control when it comes to the ANC and another party? Because both of them are ineffective without the other. So essentially, who has the power and who blinks first?
Look, you know, this is one of the simplest things that people, if really wanted to understand how coalitions work, it's not complicated. South Africans tend to think they are unique under the sun. There are exceptions. In many countries, systems like these work so well that people don't even talk about coalition because it's a way of life. Talk about Germany, talk about Britain, right? But the understanding is whoever has numerical strength will lead the coalition, but with mutual respect for other participants or partners. Precisely because it is not about the parties. It's not about the individuals, but about the electorate. Once you put that at the center of the negotiations, it should be easy to find each other. Unfortunately, I'm an African. I'm in Africa. It is still about self-serving interest. It's still about seeing politics as a vehicle for self-enrichment. Until we go beyond that mindset and we consider it a service to the other, imbued by 7 leadership attributes, then we shall always think coalitions won't work. Coalitions work. They failed in the metropoles of South Africa because of greed, because of corruption, because of charlatans pretending and masquerading as political leaders.
Professor, in the last 30 seconds I have with you, I don't mean to send a loaded question your way, but I'm curious to get your thoughts. How dangerous and how damaging is this for Cyril Ramaphosa for 2024?
I don't think it is damaging. The factions that really never gave him a chance to govern would always celebrate what is going on right now. But I always want to push them back and say, what would have happened had he not won at Nazareth? What would have happened had DD not supported him? One day people will celebrate Ramaphosa and DD. The challenge is notwithstanding, because it could have gotten worse. And I think he's doing fairly well, unfortunately, within the so-called tripartite alliance, a framework that makes it difficult for him to assert himself.
And we're going to talk about the tripartite alliance a little bit later with Solly Fetwe from COSATU on air with us in a couple of minutes. Professor Lesiba Teffo, always a pleasure to have you with us here on eNCA, political analyst, joining us to take a look at what many are describing as a dismal run for the ANC in last week's elections, the first time since the dawn of our democracy that they have been below the majority line of 50%.